We are spending a little time with, I guess, do we call you by your real name or do we call you by what everybody knows you as? One of
if you're not with the FBI, the Internal Revenue Service, my real name doesn't mean anything.
Sounds good.
I'm just a honky tonk man, the greatest WWE Intercontinental Champion of all time.
That was the first question I was going to ask you. You had the longest run as Intercontinental Champion. Is Gunther the one that just beat that record, or did it happen before that?
No, he broke the record. Yeah. So, a lot of people ask me about it and everything, but I didn't keep up with it. If you don't work at the post office, you don't care how many pieces of mail they deliver. So I don't work there. I don't care what they do, and I don't keep up with their product. But then people said, well, he's going to break your record. He broke your record. What do you think? I said, well, I really didn't think about it. But, it had been 30 years. When something goes for that long, it's like, will they ever break it? I didn't think they ever would because of the way they change the titles so often nowadays. But it's been broken, and that's fine. I don't know the fellow. I never watched him. I've never seen what he does or anything. So, it just has no effect on me.
The one streak I'm upset that they let break was the Undertaker streak. I kind of feel like that was the one that should have been his thing, and it should have stayed intact.
Yeah, but he's no Hulk Hogan now. I'm going to say that because I'm a little partial to the Hulkamanias. I'm partial to Hulk, and then Hulk should have had a streak like that, but. It is what it is. I like Undertaker too. I'm glad he lasted as long as he did. He actually lasted a lot longer than I ever thought he would. So that's a testament to him. He's great. They're both. Hulk and Undertaker both great guys.
That's a testament to you too. A lot of the guys that came from your era.
They're all dead.
Yeah, they didn't. For one reason or another. And you hear stories about that life and the road, and things were obviously different back then. But it's an era that's everybody died too young.
You know what's different? There was no cell phones to take pictures back then.
That's true. What stayed on the road actually stayed on the road.
Yeah, it actually did stay on the road. It sure did. And, man, that would have been a mess. Holy cow. I'm not squeaky clean either. I'm not going to come across as one of these better than thous. I did my damage out there, too.
Now, you've probably been asked this question a dozen times, and I don't think I've ever heard the story. How did you come up with the Elvis Presley / Honky Tonk Man gimmick? Because it's, it stood the test of time for sure, and nobody's able to duplicate it now. No matter what, there's no way they're going to be able to do that again.
Well, no, because it's gone way too woke. And the word honky means, depends on where you are. Since we're on that real quick, I went up to a radio station in Chicago once to do a morning drive time, and they sent me over to the African American radio station, and they said, "What do we call you?" I said, "Well, you can call me Honky. I'm the only white man that doesn't get mad when you say that." And we all laughed about it. We went on the air and we talked about it that way. And it was the best, great interview that everyone loved. The station loved it. The fans loved it. And we had a good time with it because, we can't take ourselves too seriously about all this stuff going on. And I was there to promote a show, and they were a radio station that was having me on there to help promote the show. And we were all happy about it.
That's cool.
Yeah, and it was fun. But
it's funny now how you think back to even stuff that was out, let's say 5 or 10 years ago, somebody would look at it now differently because of just the world we live in. And I've always come from the idea that if you're not deliberately hurting someone, and that's not your intention.
Yeah.
Entertainment's entertainment, funny's funny. No one holds a gun to your head and forces you to listen or watch. So, not everything is always geared towards everybody.
I just think we need to separate our entertainment and sports away from any of these things. But back to how it all happened. I had long blonde hair, and I did a hair dye match with a guy, where the loser has to not cut his hair, which was traditional. You loser cuts his hair, we're going to shave his head. So I said, let's do something different. We do a hair dye match. Not only was it different, I could spray paint. He could beat me and spray paint my hair that night, so the fans saw that it happened. Then the next night, we could do the same thing again. We did it for 6 straight shows. So I got 6 paydays off of it instead of just the one where you have one hair dye. But anyway, then I went on TV with the black hair the following Saturday, and some wrestling fans in Birmingham, Alabama saw me with black hair, and I had the sideburns then. I'd had them since college in the 70s. And they said, have you ever thought about this Elvis thing? And I said, no, I never, ever. And they said, we're going to make you something. About 2 weeks later, they showed up and they had me a gold jumpsuit. And then the promoter said, man, if we give you a guitar, do you know anything about a guitar? You don't know how to play it? I said, no, I don't know anything about it. He said, well, gosh, that'll even be better. The worse you are, the better it'll be. And he gave me the guitar. I took the name off of a Johnny Horton record from 1960-61. I'm a honky tonk man.
Yeah.
Dwight Yoakam did a recut on it in the 90s. Everybody thought I took it from Dwight, but I took it from Johnny Horton in the 60s. And I was going to do this Snyder guy one day at a time. The maintenance guy.
The maintenance guy, right?
The pencil thin mustache, the greasy black hair, the wife beater T-shirt, and I was going to do that slimy bad guy character. But when the jumpsuit and the guitar came along, and I had listened to this song, I'm going to give the girls the world and the music of an old jukebox. When the money's all gone, I'm on the telephone. So that exemplified what I was trying to portray down in, and I was down in Mobile and Pensacola, and down in the southeastern part of the United States, where I knew that this honky tonk thing was it was a nightclub on a Friday and Saturday night where, they fight and they break bottles over each other's heads, and they get in the parking lots and, they go at it, and just a rough joint. And that's what it was all about. And then it took off. It just took off. And I took it to Canada, and it got bigger because we were on nationwide TV up there. And then I got by Hulk Hogan. I mentioned him. He saw me, and I had not seen him in about 10 years. And he put a call into WWE for me. They brought me in, took a look at me, hired me on the spot, and wanted me to be a good guy. But I told him I had developed this thing to be a nasty, dirty, slimy Snyder, wife-beater character. I'll get in trouble for saying that now on the radio. But anyway, this was back in the 70s, folks. But anyway, I had been on Canadian TV for a year, and they saw this character. And my first TV tapings for WWE was in Toronto. Yes, now you're laughing because you know where I'm going. Here I go out as a good guy, and everyone in the building booed me out of the building. And I did 3 hours of TV tapings there. I did 3 matches on for 3 weeks. So for 3 weeks, everybody in the world heard people booing me. And I went to Vince and I said, I told you I can't make this work. He said, no, you can. After another 3 weeks, when they booed me again, they said, okay, do it your way. And then it took off.
And it was a heck of a run. I mean, you creme de la creme of that era you faced, and it was, it's weird now because at the time, I'm guessing you were hated. Yet you fast forward all this time, and you're probably one of the more beloved characters of that era. Everybody remembers who the Honky Tonk Man was.
Yes, it really touched a whole generation of people, but still today there are people around your age level that come to me and they say, "Man, I hated you so bad." And I said, yeah, because I was good at what I did. Yeah, you were, but now it's like I really love you. Yeah, but when you were 8 years old, you wanted to kill me. Yes, I did. I wanted to kill you, but
is it more fun? Is it more fun to play the bad guy than to be the good guy?
Well, I had never been the good guy, so I had developed this whole thing to be a bad guy.
Okay.
But when it comes to fan reaction, I mean, you know, it's as a bad guy, you can manipulate the audience easily. As a good guy, it's harder to manipulate them and get those pops out of them, that the boos or the cheers or the throwing stuff at you. But as a bad guy, it's more dangerous because the fans, they really sometimes start believing it.
My grandmother, God rest her soul, all 4'11" of her, used to religiously watch wrestling on Saturday mornings and on Monday nights. And I remember I would go over, and I was probably in high school at the time, probably younger than that. And I would come over and my grandma, what's wrong? She's like, Hulk Hogan is going to get killed. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure he's going to live through whatever they have set up. But
well, the thing is, the good guys got cheered, and the good guys, people took pictures with them and they sold their merchandise. So they made triple or double or 5 times as much money as we did. And then we had to fight people in the parking lots. I've had windows broken out of my car. I've had my tires slashed. I've had guns pulled on me. I've had knives pulled on me. I've fought in the parking lots. I've fought my way to the ring. I fought my way out of the ring. I have had to fight people in the ring. It was dangerous. I mean, as a young guy and saying, man, this is great. We started a riot tonight. Yeah, but we could have gotten killed.
But when you look back, though, is that I mean, I know this is kind of scary at the time, but when you look back, is that kind of a testament of how good of a character you played, that you could make someone hate you that much on TV?
Yes,
that they could not distinguish real life from... You know, I mean, it's scary on one side, but on the other side, damn, that means you were good at your job.
Well, I mean, if you could start a riot, it was a badge of honor. I just had a guy pull a gun on me. Well, you did a pretty good job out there. I almost got killed. but you don't think about it. That you're right. You think about, man, I really got them going tonight out here. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it was bad. It wasn't just in the southern United States. It was everywhere. The bad guy, really good bad guys, were hated. I mean, hated. And it was, you know, sometimes when I was first starting, I would be in the car riding or driving some of the really bad guys. And I'd get my windows broken because they were mad at the people that I was riding with. It wasn't, you know.
Oh God!
I'm out in the parking lot fighting people because they're fighting these guys. So I'm trying to protect my buddies.
I literally just told a story on the air the other day. I DJ'd in bars for a lot of time, and I was walking across the bar one day. I literally had a gig, but I was walking across the bar one day, and out of nowhere, someone punched me square in the face, and I was like, "Son of a bitch, you've got to be kidding me!" And then the dude came up and apologized. He goes, "I'm so sorry, man. I thought you were my ex-wife's new boyfriend. I had no idea. I thought I was somebody else." I'm like, "Are you kidding me?"
Yeah, it's you know, you get guilt by association sometimes, and but anyway, you know, I practiced. I really did. I worked very hard at my craft, and I studied things, and I studied other wrestlers that were good bad guys, older bad guys, and I would watch and study and movements, mannerisms, key, you know, little words and phrases. There's little push button words and phrases. The Sunday morning evangelists, that TV evangelists, they're good at it. You know, they know how to say things that can actually make people send money to them.
Right.
So, I mean, if you're that good, you're good. So,
tell you what, that's a talent, because if I could do that, I would do it every day.
and so I would listen to things and I would write them down. And I have about 4 sheets of legal pad paper stapled together now at my house. I used to carry them in my briefcase all the time, just in case I needed them for an interview or something. but I have them at home now that I had written down back when I first started in the late 70s, these little keywords and phrases that I knew were my go-to words that could push a button on someone.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Now, you've wrestled some, when you go to the all-time greats, the list of people that are what we would call Hall of Famers, you have wrestled a ton of them and went up and down over the years. Who's your all-time favorite? Do you have an all-time favorite match?
Oh, well, winning the Intercontinental Championship was one that catapulted me from obscure mid-card status up to main event to be a worldwide phenomenon and be a name around the world. I had really a good run with Macho Man Randy Savage. It was a really good run for me, but I was in the ring with so many good guys. I would have liked to wrestle Hogan more. I only had 3 matches with him because those were big money payday matches. Yeah. I mean, that can change your whole life when you're on top of making the kind of money that you would get paid to wrestle with him. And it's called, a lot of people, when they hear me talk about money, they think, well, you're money hungry, you did this. Fans have to realize it's called pro.
Right.
And the word pro in front means you get paid.
Right.
Pro wrestlers, pro boxers, pro football, pro basketball. You do this for money. You don't do it. Sure, you love the game, but you need to be paid. And but anyway, those things. I wrestled Luthez like my 3rd match in the business. He beat me up pretty good. He was a rough and tough old kind of character, but he was Luthez. He was one of the greatest wrestlers in the world. And I did so good with him that he told the promoter, next month when I come back, I want to wrestle this kid again. So I ended up wrestling Luthez about 4 times in my career. And so, I always worked at trying to be good at what I did. Because if you don't want to be good at what you're doing, find something else to do.
Right. Absolutely.
And if you're not, and if you can't be happy, stay home.
Well, I would be probably screamed at if I did not ask the question. There's been a lot of controversy going on with McMahon these days, and obviously you were in a different era. Does any of that surprise you? I mean, I don't expect you to gossip or anything like that. Does it surprise you? Did you see it coming? Was this, is there worse stuff that we don't know about?
No, I don't know anything about it. All I know is when I was there with Vince McMahon, the Vince McMahon you see today with the black hair, the little mustache, and whatever, that's not the guy that I knew. That was nothing that I knew at all. I mean, he was Vince's promoter. He was a guy that I could go to and talk to. I mean, we had a lot of knockdown dragouts, and it was all over money. I mean, he's the promoter.
Right.
He's management. I'm labor. He has the money. I want it, and he wants to keep it, not give it to me. So, whatever. But like I said before, man, if they'd had cell phones back then, who knows? I can't throw stones at anyone.
Whether it's Vince or anybody else, that's the one thing that I can't figure out these days. Why does no one seem to understand that someone is always watching, and today someone is always recording? Like you never.
Man, I tell you. The jailhouse is full of people that don't understand.
The Honky Tonk Man is in town this weekend. You've got a couple of things going on. One of them is at Hobbies Galore, and you're going to be there on Sunday. But you've got some stuff happening Saturday too.
Yeah, I'm going down to Chillicothe on Saturday. There's a big signing down there with, probably 30, 40 of the wrestlers. Young and old in betweens, and then there'll be a wrestling show. We'll be signing autographs down there. Then I'm back up here on Sunday at the is it the Collector's Comic Store?
Hobby Store.
The Hobby Store, and I'll be signing up there on Sunday morning afternoon, and just a great time. We just finished a virtual signing here at the Club Hollywood Collectibles here in just outside of Worthington. Where are we? Westerville, and had a good audience here tonight for this. But that's what I do now.
That's awesome.
I just turned 71 years old. I'm retired living on Social Security.
Come on, you got like 1, 2, 10 more matches?
No.
So is it wrong that I see Flair get in the ring and I'm like, dude, stop. Like that's
what I'm saying. If they didn't videotape it, I might do it again. But who wants to see this old man out there?
That's my thing. Because you get all the diehard fans like, man, it would be so cool if we could see Sting and Undertaker. Yes, 15 years ago, but not now.
Yeah, but the fans are cruel. They want to see it. They love it. And then as soon as they see it, they go, oh, that was awful. He's terrible. Right. He shouldn't have been in there. He needs to be in the old folks' home.
You see the people, dude, put your shirt back on.
Yeah. And if you have your shirt on, they boo you. Won't you take your shirt off, you old wrinkled up? So, yeah, I mean, you can't win with the fans. You can't win. So the best thing to do is just show up, do a few signings, have some fun, like we're having here tonight, and hopefully, nobody takes either one of us too seriously.
God, if they do, they really need to rethink some things. It has been great to talk to you.
It's the life we lived, and you know what? I wouldn't change a thing. I was able to hopefully provide for my family better than my folks were able to provide for me, and that's all I ever wanted.
Hey, at the end of the day, that's all you can do.
Yeah, and everybody's healthy, and everybody's happy.
Hey, can't go wrong there. Well, Honky Tonk Man, Honky, it has been an absolute pleasure. Look forward to seeing you in person on Sunday. But again, catch him in Chillicothe on Saturday at the World Class Big Time Wrestling 12 to 5, and then Sunday at Hobbies Galore. And it's going to be a great weekend for wrestling fans all over the capital city here in Ohio.
Thank you.